Push that button. I pushed that button.
Recording.
I pushed that button. You know,
hey, so do I look kind of like mysterious with the lighting right now?
No,
it's kind of dark where my face is. It's like lit up behind me, not in front of me.
No.
Oh, I thought. Well, I looked in your eyes and I thought you were like, "Oh, he's so mysterious."
Not at all.
You sure?
Yes, I am 100% sure.
Well, how do I look
one
then?
Thing that you are looking right now, it is not mysterious.
You do look drunk. Did you start drinking again?
Did you? Yeah, you're not going to answer that.
Listen, what I do on my time is party time. Excellent.
Every time is party time. Yep, he started. So I was actually just going to mention that
how mysterious I looked.
Well, I was not going to mention that at all because you don't. But what I was going to mention is that now that we do these cold opens, or now that we have these cold opens, now I'm like, as soon as I hit the button, the record button, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, now you got to think of something really funny because we're doing, we gotta be funny before we have to be entertaining before we have to be entertaining. And now it's almost like, you know what it is, Shawn? It's like we do two shows.
It's true.
Oh my God, we should start a podcast and just call it Cold Open.
Well, like I was thinking, this really isn't like a cold open as much as it's like bro play instead of foreplay.
Wait, what if we just did a podcast and we released it every single day, but it was only like 2 minutes long?
That'd be doable.
Every single day, you just do like 2 minutes.
I bet we could do a 5-minute one. And
we don't even no intro music. Like we'd know, like us announcing, be like, hey, everybody, this is Cold Open, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just 2 minutes. It's like the conversation just picks up from absolutely nowhere and then rambles on for like 2.5 minutes and then stops.
I like that. Because then like it'd be like somebody riding the train and like they're picking up somebody standing next to them real quick.
Yeah.
Cold
oh my
open.
God. It's like you walk past two people in the bar and then you like it's two guys talking and all of a sudden you hear one guy say, be like, and then that's when she put it in my ass.
Or
and then the guy like has like a beer in each hand. He stops and he's like, wait a minute, what? And then they have to like figure out a reason that they just stopped dead in their tracks.
Oh God, I dropped my beer and my shoes untied.
Dump. You just 180 a glass, be like, oh no, please continue with your conversation while I stand next to you and not flag the bartender. Okay. So the intro would be at the end and then it would just be somebody yelling Cold Open. You're like, and then she put it in my ass, Cold Open, end.
I like that. Yeah, because it'd be kind of like the Sega, Cold Open.
Exactly.
All right, we get up to $100 a month in Patreon. We'll do that. That wouldn't be too hard to do.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, we just have to we'd start the show or we get on Skype and we just hit record and then we'd go.
Well, hell, I mean, we could just record phone calls.
Oh, it's true. Oh yeah, we could just call each other on the way to work or way home and record that. Cold Open.
Yeah. Driving home from work and be like, hey, bud. So what happened again? Well, what happened? Cold Open! And
and then I put it in my own butt. Cold Open!
Fucking idea machine here.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Although, I mean, I say that, but I don't know. We have a tendency to ramble. Well, this right now is kicking on 5 minutes. So
yeah, but what you could do is if you get, because you got to have 5 minutes a day, so you got to try to get 35-40 minute rambles.
We could just have one. We could have one 20-minute conversation and then just break it up over 10 episodes.
Yeah, see, that would work. Because, I mean, like, even when we do these cold opens, we usually have, like, a pause, and then we pick up into something else.
Yeah.
But it happened again, Richard. I think it's going to fall off this time.
I know it. Open! Now we'll start the show. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. And Shawn, you told me that today you wanted to ask me questions.
Oh, Richard.
Now, first off, I just want to say that nothing I say will be admissible in court.
Well, Richard, it's around that Thanksgiving time of year. And what is something that almost everybody gets to do during this time of year? They sit in front of their TV. They have to watch a silly parade. Then after the parade's over, guess what?
When was the last time you watched a parade? Like
it's on. Like, my mom loves the parade, so we usually have it on. Yeah.
You know what? Like, I think that's fucking adorable.
It
is.
I'm
I'm 100% take it or leave it when it comes to the parade. But I think the fact that somebody's like excited about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, I think that's fucking adorable.
Yeah, and she's like, she legit like is it more like excited for the end when Santa comes, because that's like the kickoff to, you know, like the Christmas season, right? And my mom's big on Christmas.
Cute.
Yeah, and I'm not like, again, I think the reason I'm not a huge fan of parades is because in high school I marched in parades.
You hate joy. That's why
I hate joy. They build these stupid things, and people are like, look at me, I'm so happy. Yeah. I'm like, don't be happy.
This was better when Willard Scott was in it. Where's Willard Scott?
It's not even cold.
Yeah.
Actually, probably it's cold because it's New York.
Not my parade.
I'm going to start my own parade. You know what it's going to be? In Arizona.
Where there's lots of snow.
No, but after the parade, Richard, football kicks on, and everybody gets to watch football. Most people do.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I don't know how this is going to go, because of the two of us, I'm the more of the sports ball fan, right?
You are definitely the more sports ball fan. I will say that out of all the sports ball, I appreciate the football the most, but I must confess that I have not watched a football game in its entirety for probably 2 years at least.
Oof.
Probably I'm going to say 3, but no more than 3.
I get into the playoffs for football. I mean, of the sports, I'm more of a baseball fan.
Right.
As we know. But for football, like the playoff season, like when the playoffs start, like I get really excited for that, because it's one and dones, right? Like you either win or go home. So that gets me pretty pumped. Usually during the season, I'm like, hey, I'm going to watch football. And I'm like, hey, what day is it? Sunday? Oh, well, maybe next Sunday. Because you know why, Richard?
Why?
Because I'm worshiping Jesus.
I like how you said that with like such contempt. Like, because I'm worshiping Jesus.
It's his day, Richard, not football's day.
Dirty sinner.
Yeah, thinner.
I'm not worshiping Jesus.
Is this where you want to be when the Jesus comes back? Jerking your McGurkin. Oh,
watching that football. Watched him throw around the pigskin.
Oh, he probably would be upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he is Jewish.
Yeah. Yep. I think we just started our new podcast. That would be the next super questions. Things Jesus will be pissed off about when he comes back.
Yeah.
Number 1, everything.
Selena Gomez.
The Lady Gaga.
Speaking of Selena Gomez, so yesterday I realized that she is now on a show on Hulu. You know who else is on the show, Shawn? Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Oh, is that the Murderers in This House or something like that?
I guess it's like a comedy / murder mystery. And it's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. I'm like, who the fuck thought that the three of them would be this like comedy trio? When did Selena Gomez become the fucking third amigo?
I don't know. She's kind of been like doing more of like that kind of stuff. Like it seems like she's gotten more with older actors and trying to break out of her thing.
Nobody in the entirety of the Hollywood industry deserves every single scrap of money that they get than Selena Gomez's agent. Selena Gomez's agent deserves every single dime that he has negotiated for in his contract, because he managed to get Selena Gomez on a show on television with Martin Short and Steve Martin, like two comedy fucking icons. And I don't use that word lightly. I mean, they are literal comedic icons. Steve fucking Martin and Martin.
Well, they've
Short.
kind of slowed down though, right? Like they haven't really been anything for a minute.
I don't care if Steve Martin's fucking half dead in a wheelchair. That man is a fucking comedic genius. That man is comedy. Good? That man speaks and it's comedy gold. There's a reason that he's hosted SNL. Shawn, I don't know if you know this. He has hosted Saturday Night Live 595 times.
Yeah.
That's how many
I'm a big
times.
fan of his. I always like The Jerk. I love that show. Love that movie.
Oh my God, the Jerk.
Somebody's mad at these
Those
Kansas
remakes he did of Father of the Bride. Oh, Martin, you know who's in Father of the Bride? Martin Short. Three Amigos. Martin Short. Like they're like Martin
Abbott
and Lewis.
Costello.
Yeah. I mean,
is the show good? Have
yes.
you watched it?
I have not watched it, but it doesn't matter because Selena Gomez's agent. That's who we need as an agent, Shawn, because that man apparently knows how to get fucking shit done. This man's like, I will make things that you thought were impossible happen.
He's like, hey, I'm going to get you guys started on this new podcast called Code Open. It's like, wait a second.
Yep. And it's going to be you, and it's going to be both of you, and you're going to talk with Bob Marley, and we're like, wait a minute, aren't they dead? He's like, yeah, they are dead. Like, how are we going to talk to him? He's like, because I'm Selena Gomez's agent, and I apparently can I can move heaven and earth and raise the dead just to put them on your fucking podcast.
Yeah, I got some great recording equipment. We're going to do a seance, and guess what? They're going to be on your podcast. You know how Mark Maron had Obama on his podcast, and it's like the most downloaded podcast of all time?
You're going to have George Washington on your podcast. How would you like to have a 2-minute interview with Thomas goddamn Jefferson? It's a round table with you, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and actually Alexander Hamilton.
And we told Thomas Jefferson, it's like, yeah, this will be like when Mark Maron interviewed the first African-American president. Wait, there was a black president? What?
Are we related? See, because no, don't look at me like that. That's a good joke. That's a clean joke.
That is a good joke. I mean, Family Guy did it.
Yeah. Don't look. Yeah, that's clean. That's clean.
Yeah. I wonder if they would.
You were looking at me weird.
Well, I wasn't really sure what the comeback would be because that's kind of, you got to be careful with that. Do you think they would? I don't know. That's a super question for another day.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. You still haven't asked me a single question. I've asked you more questions at this point.
But no, what I've got for us today, Richard, are just some super questions around sports and kind of being on teams. And they're really kind of going to be like personality tests, I think, from this. It's like the one where you go on like Vogue.com. It's like pick one or the other. And it really like at the end, it'll be like, oh, you're a raging alcoholic.
They tell me what my sex personality is.
Yeah, they're like, you're a premature ejaculator. And you're like, well.
Called it.
Yeah.
But hey.
Did you have to post it on Facebook?
Jeez.
But all right, Richard. So
I pushed the share button. Never mind.
I prematurely clicked it. It affects me in all aspects of my life.
Well, this all tracks.
All right, Richard. So super question number 1. Would you rather be the star of a bad team or an average player on an elite team? So I think with this too, like we could probably talk about it in terms of other things too. So like you could say like podcasting. Would you rather be the star of a bad podcast or an average star on an elite podcast?
The second one. Because again, okay, oh my God, this is so crazy because this ties back to what we were just talking about. Like if you're Selena Gomez standing next to Martin Short and Steve Martin, like you don't bring them down because they can't be brought down. Like all that happens is they raise you up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, if she was the star of a show, we probably wouldn't even have talked about it, right? Not because I have anything against Selena Gomez, but just I think isn't she a Disney kid and like she had a music career and that's kind of like all I know about her.
Exactly. Didn't she date Justin Bieber once?
That sounds right. I think they got tattoos of each other.
Probably.
Not of each other, but like their
That's
names
what the
or
kids
something.
do these days.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for you to get your tattoo of me. I got yours on me already.
How do you know I don't already have it? Yeah. Ponder that. There's a super question.
Super question number 2.
Where is it?
Yeah, I think I'd probably do the same. Like, you know, because I feel like it's kind of like a greed type thing where, you know, if you're the star of a bad team, you get all the attention, but you don't go anywhere. But like if you're an average player, like, you know, if we brought in a third on this
podcast, the janitor
podcast,
of the fucking Patriots gets a Super Bowl ring. You know what I mean?
And he gets to go with the owner to the old rub and tug that he goes to.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Carl, you've been working really hard cleaning up all that shit, so let me help you out here and get yourself cleaned up. And that was the one time that they decided to raid that massage parlor.
I know. And he's like, oh, come on. Like,
he's
Grunk's
like,
been here
"Oh."
like 12 times. This is bullshit.
I didn't even get to finish because I'm not like Croc. What is his name? Robert Crockman? Kirkman?
I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever his name is. He's like, oh, Bob over there. He's like 2 tugs and he's done. I take a little more time than that.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't open kiss my son on the mouth. How come I'm the one that gets carried away in a fucking paddy wagon?
Oh, that is weird. Tom Brady does that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another odd super question. Would you kiss your kids on the mouth? That's a big no for me.
Next question.
All right. So yeah, we both kind of sit on the average player on an elite team.
Yeah.
So what does that say about you?
All that happens is they lift you up. Like they make you better. You don't make them worse.
And it's not necessarily like that you just like put in an average effort. It's just that's just your skill level, right?
Exactly. Like you're doing everything you can. It's just that, you know, okay, so would you rather be it's kind of like you were saying, like would you rather be the star player for, I don't know, what's a bad basketball team? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I haven't watched forever.
Would you rather be a star player on the Utah Jazz, or
I was hoping you'd say like the Milwaukee Bucks because they just won the title. Or
would you rather be like the bench warmer for the fucking 98 Bulls?
Yeah.
Like, guess what? Michael Jordan still slaps everybody on the ass the same. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. Yeah, would you rather have him trash talk you and you're like, well, at least I got my championship ring, or would you rather have him trash talk you and you lose?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Super question number 2. Would you rather win? This is kind of a similar question, but so would you rather win an MVP award, so you're the best player in the league, or would you want to win a team championship? It's the same question, but it's a little bit different.
Well, it's a little bit different because, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess in that instance, like, probably the MVP because like they're like you're being recognized for your talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough question because like when you look at like stars right now, so Mike Trout is like the best baseball player in the league. Like he's been top 3 in MVP awards like since he's gotten in the league, but he's only been to the playoffs twice.
Right.
So it's one of those things like he's recognized as one of the best players ever, but he's never won a championship. So
but like I would think like in that instance, like you're still getting paid like stupid money.
Well, and I'm trying to take money out of the the thoughts here too, because I mean that I think that can kind of sway everything.
Sure. Okay. Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, I mean, it's related to the last question by, you know, in a way, but not really, because we're not talking about like, would you want to be a great player on a bad team? You're saying, would you want to be recognized as the most valuable player out of all players, good teams or bad teams? So I guess that's why I'm saying it's different.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards like the MVP too, because I think being recognized as one of the best, like even if you look at like a legacy type thing, you know, if you're the guy who was the second string quarterback on 6, you know, championship winning teams, nobody really knows who you are still. Yeah, you got 6 rings, you won the championships, but like nobody knows you.
Yeah, you're not sitting, you're not riding the desk at fucking ESPN when when your knees have blasted out and you're in your 60s.
But like if you're like Mike Trout, he's going to be recognized as one of the best forever. And it's going to be like when they talk about championships, they'll be like, well, it's kind of sad that he never won one. But it's still like he's still statistically the best of all time, like Ken Griffey Jr. or a Jim Tomei kind of guy.
Right. Like he's, well, and also, like I said, you know, like that the individual recognition carries a lot more weight than just being on a championship team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd
like a lot more weight just, you know, for like just in general in the world.
And I would like to be considered like the best at something too, because there's not a lot of things that people are like, oh my God, Shawn is the best at that. I'm kind of more of the average guy where they're like, yeah, he does a good enough job.
When was the last time anyone had ever told you were the best at anything? I can't think of a single time where someone was like, oh my God, you know what you're the best at? And then they say it. Usually they say, you know what you're really good at? Like, well, I get best that. Is, like, people say that.
Yeah, best is kind of like, you know, even like now, I don't know if a lot of people say, well, he's the best, because it kind of comes with some like caveats. But like, if we were talking, like, I'd probably have people tell you, like, oh my God, you are the best DM. I would say that. I think you're the best DM I've ever played for.
I don't know what to say.
He's like, you're average. No, I don't know. Like, there's not really anything that, I mean, I've had like, my grandpa told my mom and them that like I was the better of the family members in terms of baseball playing, but like that doesn't really mean a whole, I mean, it means a lot to me when she told me that, but it doesn't like, I don't know, like sometimes some of that stuff seems subjective.
You are definitely one of the best content creators that I know.
Oh.
And I do mean that genuinely, because like when it comes to like in general just show ideas and stuff like that, like a lot, like a vast majority of them come from you.
Yeah.
Content generating machine.
Yeah, it's fun to make believe.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you're a kid with no friends. You have to pretend by yourself.
All right. Before we get, let's you know, this is about sports ball. We're being manly here, so let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Let's smack each other on the ass and move to question number 3.
Let's save this for the post game. Save it for the locker room, fellas.
All right, super question number 3. So this is more about watching sports. So would you rather watch a regular season game courtside or a high stakes playoff game from the rafters?
That's hard, because I guess it would depend on, like, I feel like there's other factors that would come into play when it, because if it was if it was a team that I really liked against a team I really didn't like, then I don't think it would matter what, for me, it wouldn't matter if it was a playoff game or a non-playoff game.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Like it depends. Like this is kind of seems like it's talking basketball, but it would depend on sports too. Like if somebody's like, "Oh my God," like let's say I'm kind of like a Chiefs Bears fan, but like not really like super big into them. But If somebody's like, hey, you get to go to the Super Bowl, like I'd go, but I would much rather watch the Super Bowl at home on TV. It's a better experience, like for football. Baseball, on the other hand, that might be a little bit different. But again, you're in the rafters, so it's going to be really hard to see. Like you're going to be feeding more off the energy. So I guess that's the question. It's like, do you want a really good like viewing experience, or do you just want a really big like, you know, emotional kind of like in the environment experience? Because
I probably have to opt for the front row.
That's what I think I would do.
I feel like I honestly think that if you're down at the front row, I think that you're going to get, even regardless of whether it's a playoff game or not a playoff game, I think you're going to get more of that energy that you're talking about, because the people that are sitting in like around you are people that are like really wanted to watch that, you know, that like really wanted to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it's like your favorite team and it's a high stakes playoff experience, like, so I guess like, let's think about like movies. Would you rather watch, you know, Avengers, the first time you saw it was middle of the theater with like a half dozen people there? Or would you rather go and watch Avengers Endgame or either one, but you had to sit in the very first row, but the theater was packed?
Right.
And if you're asking me in that situation, like I know like my experience was really good, but I had good seats, so I was in the middle. But I would settle for the better like viewing experience for the movie compared to like the crowd experience.
I don't know, something like Avengers Endgame. I think that like the crowd experience at Avengers Endgame was really, really good.
It was, but would you want to sit front row, far corner?
Yeah, I don't know about like front row, far corner. Like if it was something that I could like lean, like if I had to like scoot down a lot, then you know that's one thing.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to relate this.
Like the absolute worst seats in the theater.
Worst seats, like you're in the far corner. Like
yeah,
you probably have to.
I probably wouldn't do.
Yeah, and you'd probably have to be like where you get there and it's so packed that like you're getting in like right as the movie starts and getting settled.
Right. Well, but again, like you know, I've been to baseball games with you, and I would say that there was one that I thought the seats were really, really good, and I wasn't 100% paying attention to the game. I was enjoying the overall experience of it.
You can say it here. It's safe space. You were enjoying the nacho bar.
No, it wasn't even that game.
Oh, the Cubs game, we had great seats.
Yeah. And I'm like, if you asked me who won that game and what the score was, couldn't tell you. No.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Can't remember for the life of me.
I think the Cubs won.
But I remember there was a really, really cool, fun experience.
Yeah, so I think that's what I would settle for is like the better seat and getting more of like that experience compared to being there where like you can barely see what's going on. And because in the other instance, you're feeding off the crowd more than you're kind of getting a double bit of it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, super question number 4. Would you rather have really cool uniforms with a rundown stadium or a state-of-the-art stadium with ugly uniforms?
Oh, a state-of-the-art stadium with ugly uniforms.
Yeah, I'm saying both. Because
I mean, I can take the ugly uniform off and then sit in a fucking, you know,
jetted tub with
in a jacuzzi while somebody named, you know, Manuel brings me fucking mojitos.
Yeah, and they're rubbing your back and they're giving you all kinds of like good stuff. You got like the super like freeze center where you go in, it drops the temperature like 30 degrees below Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like you talk about that, like the Oakland Athletics are a team that kind of have the worst of both worlds because they have a really terrible stadium that like the water and sewage backs up in the locker rooms and in the dugouts like a couple times a year.
Oh, that's terrible.
You're a professional athlete and you're wading through poop water. And it's not even your own poop water. It's like, you know,
it's the people that just watched you fucking like, can you imagine like you just like lost a game and now it's like, well, now I have to like walk through your poop.
Yeah. From the people that ate like because you know, the food there's not good either if that's what they have going on. So it's like, $1.50 hot dogs that are probably a couple days old.
Oh.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, like sometimes
that's so sad.
Yeah. There's lots of talks about like they're trying to build a new stadium there, but and that's a whole other topic is like stadiums and tax money going to that stuff, but they're trying to build a new stadium there, but the owners are pretty known for being like pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But Las Vegas wants to bring in a baseball team. So the thought is if they don't get a new stadium built there, Las Vegas will bring them in, which would be kind of fitting because they'd be the Las Vegas A's.
Yeah, but like Las Vegas Athletics?
Yeah, they'd probably keep the name too because the Athletics have been around for so long. But they'd probably play on the A's, like in A's.
Oh, okay. There you go. I wasn't making that connection. That's why I was like, wait, what do you...
Oh, gotcha.
You know what? I gotta say, like, I am not a fan of the tax rebates that these stadiums get. That makes and then teams move and like I feel like it's so much like wasted money, tax money.
I think it's been studied pretty hard that like because usually the owners pitch in like 15 or 20%.
Yeah.
And then the county and stuff with a tax increase and other stuff will pick up the rest of it.
Yeah.
And they sign leases, so they're going to be there for like 20 years or whatever it is. But in terms of what the actual rebate, like what they get back on it, usually doesn't really kind of work itself out.
No, because the thought is always like, oh, if we bring a sports team here, then people will come see the sports team and then they'll stay here and stay in hotels and eat in restaurants and spend all this money and it'll be great. But I mean, from what I understand, most of the time that actually doesn't happen. Like there isn't this huge boom in a city's economy because they've just suddenly gotten a sports team.
Yeah. Or they build a brand like St. Louis was one that they built a really nice stadium. They built a lot of stuff around it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it helps, but like in terms of what they spend on those stadiums, I don't know if it really works. And then you have situations like I don't remember what his name is, but the guy that owned the Marlins, you want to talk about a dude that like schemed that city out of some money. So this guy wanted to buy a baseball team and the league didn't let him get like the team he wanted. And so he ended up buying like the Expos for like super cheap. And then they're like, well, we need to move them because of such and such. He's like, well, I don't want to move them. They're like, okay. And they essentially gave him the Marlins team. So this dude like had no like big money into, and I'm kind of paraphrasing because it's been a while since I've looked at everything, but essentially he was almost gifted a team, right? Like in this some weird way.
Okay.
He talked Miami into building a brand new state-of-the-art stadium. He said, hey, I'm going to bring in like lots of players. Like I'm spending tons of money on players. Get the stadium built, brings in a ton of guys, like high payroll guys.
Okay.
But all the contracts were set up with no trade clauses and were set up in a way that like the first like 3 or 4 years, they weren't getting paid like much of their money. It was all like prorated to the end of the contract. So he gets the new stadium. After about 2 years, the value of the team shoots through the roof. He trades all the players away, shoots his payroll super low. And because of everything that worked out, like he ends up selling the team like 4 years later. So he essentially got the city to build him a stadium and then like was able to sell the money. Like, I think he's in courts right now or was. I can't remember what his name was, but it was one of those things that's like you talk about like skeezy business owners. Like that's one that's like that. Like even when it was happening.
Yeah.
People are like, no, he's going to pay for the players. You're like, these contracts are a little sketchy. And there are no trade clauses in there. Like these guys should get that. It's like, no, it'll be fine. It wasn't.
It was not. Ugh.
But like even like going back to our question, so like state of the art stadium, you're gonna get all the amenities. It's gonna be super sweet. And a lot of times with like ugly uniforms, sometimes they're so ugly that they kind of become cool.
Yeah,
like Astros,
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, like those are they're not even like brown colors. They have like orange.
They didn't even think to add the color brown to the uniform till like the early 2000s.
Yeah, well, that's because like they named it after the owner who was like something brown.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, Brown, what should we? Let's make the colors brown too. Right? He's like, no, I hate brown. Let's do
let's
orange.
call them the Cleveland Browns. What should their helmets be? Neon orange, like road cone orange. Be perfect.
What's their mascot? What should it be? Let's do a dog.
We'll call him Brown the dog. No, don't call him Brown. That's stupid. Don't be stupid.
Call him Bert. Wait, why should we call him Bert? You're the boss. All right. Super question number 5. So this is a money question. Would you rather get paid a lot to be on a bad team or paid below average to be on an elite team?
Okay. Well, if we're talking about money, like, aren't there incentives, like bonuses and whatnot, if you win like championships and shit like that?
Yeah, usually whenever your team wins, you get like an extra kickback. So like, obviously, like to me, the way I would look at this, like if I was playing baseball and I was like league average, I think is like $1 or $2 million somewhere in there. Like the minimum's like 500 or 700,000.
Okay.
So like obviously like really, really good money.
Sure.
So like to me, it's like what would make me happier? Like making this money that may not be like super generational wealth, but I'm on a good team every year competing, or would I rather have like this like 3 generational wealth like money, but my team always sucks? And to me, that'd be
like after you sign a 3-year contract for 80 gajillion quad million dollars, and then you're guaranteed that money no matter what. And then in like the second game, somebody throws a ball at your knee and shatters it into 80,000 pieces. And then you're like, well,
it's a guaranteed contract.
Yep. Still getting paid.
So like in this
Take me away, boys.
I mean, I guess the question would be like, I wouldn't want to like take no money and be on an elite team kind of thing. But
yeah, I'd probably have to go with the first one. Cause I mean, do you really care what, if you're getting paid that amount of money, you really like, I guess I'm like, if you get paid like a stupid amount of money, do you really care how good your team is? Because I mean, yes, it's a job, and yes, you're if you're at that level, of course you're, you have a very high level of competitive spirit in you. And so, yeah, it probably stings a little that your team doesn't, win every game.
See, I think we differ on this one.
While you're wiping your tears away with $5 million bills, like it kind of alleviates the pain a little. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think in this instance, if I would be fine taking like right at a league average, but being on a team that's like competitive all the time.
Yeah, if it was me, I would be like, pay me $5 billion, and then I would lean into every pitch.
Well, I guess in this situation, I mean, if you look at like the alternative would be like a Tom Brady, where Brady could be the highest paid quarterback ever, but he takes a little bit less because he wants to make sure the team around him's really good.
Yeah.
So but again, he's still making like $20 million a year, so it's not like he's getting like nothing.
Sure.
But no, I mean, if you're telling me I'm making like $1 to $2 million a year.
Well, and also like in Tom Brady's case, like Tom Brady is, like he's climbed that mountain more than once, and he's
like 43 years old too.
And he's not only has he climbed that mountain more than once, but like motherfucker's made his money. So like at this point, like if I'm Tom Brady, I'd probably be doing the same thing, because I'm like, like all this is gravy at this, you know what I mean? Like it's all just like fucking chocolate sprinkles on the ice cream sundae that has been your career.
Well, he'd probably stop too, but with the CTE, he doesn't realize he can.
Be like, what do you mean quit?
There was a statistic,
you mean like for the season, right?
Like, I mean, he's probably smarter than both of us combined. I don't know. I think he's a pretty bright dude. But like 4 or 5 years ago, they talked about like his wife makes like a lot more money than he does, because she's like some like big model. I don't know.
Open mouth kiss all my kids.
Gross.
When he was on camera doing that, he should have just turned right into the camera and be like, "Fuck you, I'm Tom Brady." Like,
yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
fuck you, I'm Tom Brady. And then everybody watching that's like, God damn it, he's right.
Hey, son, come here.
I was going to make fun. Well, no, I can't do it. You know why? Because I'm not fucking Tom Brady.
That's true. You do it, you go to jail.
Yeah. If I get caught doing, if I get seen doing that on a camera, then people be like, "You, it's fucking gross."
Yeah, there's
an
age.
Tom Brady, like you want to say something, but then he just looks at you and he's like, "Are you about to disparage Tom Brady?" And then you're like, oh, "No."
Yeah, there is an age that like if he's still doing that when they're like 17 or 18, you're like, I mean, come on, dude.
I know you're Tom Brady, but like,
we all have our limits.
Please stop.
All right, super question number 6. Would you rather own the record for most points scored or for the most championships?
Now, see, that's hard because I feel like both of those would kind of have like equal kind of accolades. I guess most championships, because that sounds a bit more prestigious. Yeah. You know, because when you say most points scored, are you meaning like of all time or of that year? Or?
Of all time. So like you'd be like the home run king.
Okay.
So like I would agree with you on
so
this
Shawn,
one too.
Would you rather be the Michael Jordan of basketball or be the Michael Jordan of basketball?
Well, I think this would be kind of like so Barry Bonds has the most home runs of all time, right? He's got a bunch of other records, but he's got that. But he never won a championship.
Okay.
So like I couldn't tell you the name of the guy who's won the most championships, but I feel like, yeah, the feeling of hitting the most home runs of all time would be pretty sweet. But I think being able to be in the championships, so like that's got to be at least like 7 or 8 World Series titles, right?
Yeah.
Or like being like, I'm sure there's some guy that's been on every single Brady team that we don't know about, like some punt returner or like special teams guy that's followed him around who's got like the most championships of all time.
He's like, I'm going to hitch my wagon to this Brady star. Just watch.
Yeah.
You guys watch.
Not a dumb idea at all. Like Gronk did it and it worked out well. But yeah, I think in this situation, I would go with most championships because, you know, yeah, you'd be known for like most of a single accolade and people would be able to be like, oh, so-and-so has the most for this. But like in a personal sense, I think winning the most championships will be a lot cooler.
Well, and also I think that like when you're, you know, most points scored, I feel like it kind of puts you in a category like all you can do is lose it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. Because
I mean?
Even if somebody surpasses you for most championships, you still have 7 of them or whatever it is. Yeah.
But if you're the one, if you're like Barry Allen, like, you know, Barry Allen, like legendary running back, you know, but, you know, I think that, you know, Barry Allen compare, you know, I mean, look at running backs today, like he doesn't really, or Emmitt Smith, you know, you have Emmitt Smith, like legendary running back, Dallas Cowboys, you know, but as time has gone on, like that star has kind of lost its luster.
Yeah. He's even got some championships tied to him too.
Yeah.
But I feel like even like, so if you hit like the, you know, the record, whatever, record shot, record home run.
Yeah.
Like that's
like all you can do is lose it though.
True. But that's like one big moment like that. Like you just reach the pinnacle.
Yeah.
But like with championships, if you won 7 of them, because I feel like that's like the record in most. If you've gotten 7 championships, that's 7 pinnacles you've gotten to.
Yeah.
And each one would be a little bit different, but each one would be like this like huge, like, oh my God, I did it moment. Mm-hmm. And you get to do it multiple times. So I think
there's probably other stuff that you've gotten like big achievements for just because you've done that, just because you've like most points scored in a championship game. Just because you've been in so fucking like even if you've like I only scored 12 points in a championship game. Well, yeah, but you were in 7, so you've scored 50 points in a championship game.
So you've done it a few times. Yeah, I think I'd go with most championships in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree. Has there been anything that we've disagreed on at this point?
We have. So far, just the would you rather be paid a lot and be on a bad team or paid below average to be on an elite team?
Oh, yeah. No, I want all the money. Give me all the money.
Yeah, I'm at like, if I get $3 million, I'll be fine winning. Super question number 7. Would you rather play an amazing game but lose, or play an average game and win?
Average game.
Yes. I've actually got experience with this. So in high school, we played a game where like both teams scored like 20 points. It was a baseball game. In this game, I hit a double that tied the game, and then I came around and I touched home plate, but the umpire said I didn't. I got called out, so we would have taken the lead. So then I hit another ball where I got to like second or third, and I came and scored. And as I touched home plate, I looked down and they tagged the guy out at second, like as I'm going to the dugout. And the umpire said, "Nope, you didn't touch home plate before the tag." And there's another one. There's another situation where I think I slid or something. Yeah, no, he said he could have thrown me out because I didn't slide. But then there's a third time I scored and it actually counted. But basically what I'm saying, Rich, is I played a really freaking good game and we still lost. And I was pissed because we lost this game. That. And there's another game where I did like okay and we won. And I felt better about that game than the one where I personally did well. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, like all you really care about is the W, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're like, oh my God, I hit 3 home runs, but we lost by 6, you're like, great. Like, that's cool, but you still lost.
Yeah, exactly. But you still lost, because meaning like all if you win, then you don't really care how you played.
That game still pisses me off, Richard. I should have had 2 more runs in that game, and my coach didn't do shit about it. After the game, so in that game too, there was a guy who was running off third. I beat up the
umpire in the parking lot.
Dude was old, and like I short threw the ball to third, and I think that was the winning run. And the guy playing third missed it. And the play before it, there was like a short line drive that if the guy caught, we would have won, and he missed it. And when I walked in the dugout, I chucked my helmet so hard. Coach was like, "Hey!" I was like, "Well, you should have fucking yelled at the umpire that much." I didn't say that, but I thought it.
I yelled it to myself in my car.
And then I told him sorry.
And then the umpire knocked on my window. And he said, "What was that?" And I said, "Nothing."
It was crazy because it was an away game, and the game was like an hour away, but he drove all the way up there. All right, super question number 8. Would you rather play indoors or outdoors?
Probably outdoors.
Oof. I'm going to say indoors because it gets hot. That sun shining on you all the time.
Yeah, but you get a nice breeze. When you get a nice breeze, then it's cool. Then like it feels good. Plus, like I just, like the being outside. Like I don't know. I just feel like it, it just feels better. Like I've played indoors and outdoors just kind of like feels better, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, like when you're playing like in the rain, then like you look like a fucking badass.
That's true. Like whenever there's weather elements in games, they look pretty sweet.
Right? Like they look fucking like bosses running around in fucking pouring ass rain or snow. If it's snowing and like dudes are like chucking down field and catching balls and shit, you're like, "You're a fucking god."
Have you ever watched the outdoor hockey games they do when it snows?
No.
Oh, if you get a chance this year, watch the hockey game. They do it they're outdoor games. They do like 4 or 5 a year.
That sounds rad.
Oh, but yeah, you get like it's at night and that snow starts coming down like a little drizzle. It just looks badass. But I would probably say indoors in terms of like, you think like, I'd be curious if they've done studies of like players that have played outdoors compared to indoors. Cause like, and to be fair, most games are at night anymore. So it probably doesn't matter too much. But like you think about like the exposure to the sun and, what that does to your body and things like that, like, in terms of like skin cancer and stuff like that. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, that's
that I didn't consider. I didn't consider my susceptibility to melanoma.
But I was thinking in terms of like, I don't like being hot either. But also most of these stadiums though, like when you go to the dugout, like I'm sure the dugout's like climate controlled, so you're probably fine. But
yeah,
I would
especially
probably
if you're in a good stadium, you're sitting in that hot tub.
Yeah, I would go indoors though, I think, for this. All right, super question number 9. This ties into what you were kind of alluding to, Richard. So I'm curious which one you would pick. Would you rather play a game in the rain or in the snow?
Okay, if we're talking about me personally, I would rather personally play a game in the rain.
Oof,
However, if I'm watching a game, if I'm watching a game, I would watch a game in the snow. And when I say watch a game, I mean I would sit at home on my comfy couch,
all
with the
bundled
heat
up
on,
with hot cocoa,
with a blanket over me.
Yeah,
but if I was gonna play, if you're asking me what I would rather play a game in, I would rather play a game in the rain.
Yeah, I would probably say snow because I like playing in the snow. It's fun. Make snowman, make snow angels. This
is why you always lose.
It's true.
Catch the ball. What?
I missed it. Sorry, snow angel. This makes me ready for Christmas.
It's the most wonderful time.
Ow! Thunk. I wasn't ready. Have I played in the rain, like a baseball game or anything? I don't think I have. Like not even like a light sprinkle that I can remember.
I've played a football game in the rain.
Like just like pickup kind of thing?
No, when I was like in school.
Were you on the football team?
In school, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
Cornerback.
Cool. I didn't know that. How many interceptions did you have?
1.
Did you score a touchdown?
Well, I was a bad player, Shawn.
What was your team good?
No, we were terrible.
Did you play through high school or just like junior high or
junior high?
I didn't know.
I wasn't good enough for high school, but that's okay because nobody else was either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you really don't need to be good at high school sports because, odds are.
What do you mean? They were handing out scholarships like candy, right?
That's what I hear. All right, Richard. So, super question number 10. So, it's this time of year, right? You got Thanksgiving, you got other holidays coming up. So, I want to know, would you rather play on New Year's Day or Thanksgiving Day?
Ooh. Probably, I don't know. That's hard. That one's hard.
I'm going to go with New Year's Day. And I say that because I really like Thanksgiving family stuff. And although like if it was a one-off here or there, like we missed Thanksgiving last year with our family just because with everything going on. And it's really kind of stung. Like I'm really looking forward to this year's.
I would probably go with Thanksgiving. Well, no, I'd probably go with New Year's. No, wait. Yeah, I go with Thanksgiving. And the reason I say that is because, like, if you're having Thanksgiving, like, you could move Thanksgiving. Like, there's been times where, like, where the family, like, moves, like, let's do Thanksgiving on Saturday. So, like, I can play my game on Thanksgiving Day, and then I can go and hang out with my family and eat a bunch of food that weekend.
Yeah, that's
but New Year's Day, like New Year's Day is a set day. Like it's not like, oh, let's do New Year's Day on Friday.
Yeah,
and then we'll
that's
have
a really
New Year's
good
Day.
point. 5, 4, 3. It just doesn't feel the same. And that's a good point. Like if you did Thanksgiving on Saturday,
different. Yeah, because it's January 5th, idiot.
May all the acquaintance we forgot.
People hanging up fucking Valentine's Day decorations.
No, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. Because, yeah, if you do Thanksgiving on Saturday, it still feels like Thanksgiving. But New Year's,
if you're standing in the middle of Times Square fucking tooting on a horn on January 3rd, people are going to think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's true. But
or
if you're
still drunk.
Yeah, a little both. That's a good point. Yeah, I'm gonna change mine. I would say New Year's or Thanksgiving then.
Yeah, because you can have Thanksgiving whenever. Because Thanksgiving, like, what are you doing? Like, it's just you getting together with people you like and fucking making a goddamn mess of food.
Yeah,
like you can do that anytime.
And everybody could stay home and watch you play, and then they'll be like, "Hey, and I get to see them on Saturday." That's a good point. Yeah, I think Thanksgiving's the way to go.
Oh,
well, that was my last question, Richard, and you swayed me. And like I said, I think there's only 2 that we differed on. But I guess as we are getting ready to head into the post-game interview, what are some Richard's post-game interview thoughts?
I just want to say I thought we had a good podcast today. I thought we put in a great effort. I thought it was a team effort. Some mistakes were made, and that's fine. But we just those are the things you learn from, and you take those lessons and you just try and push forward into the next week. That's the goal, right? You minimize and move on.
Yeah, I thought we potted good in the first quarter, and then we potted really good in the fifth quarter, and then we had the outstretch, and then potted there, and then I just want to thank God. God bless. Love it. All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping as we're getting ready to tidy up. Visit our website, we're languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And we always like to thank our patrons, Wendy and Aaron. They would be our number one fans in our rooting section.
Yes, and we would be theirs.
Yeah, it's true. We'd root them on.
Yeah, with whatever they do. As long as it as long as Wendy's Wendy's like, I want to put babies on spikes, then I don't think I'm gonna wave a pennant at that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be
like, go Wendy.
All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
They're like, no, please.
You said you'd always be behind me. We didn't mean this.
No, not this. What about macrame?
We wish you were known for. You kind of wish you were known for kissing your kids on the mouth at that point. All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a why.
Be a why not. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Sports ball, the place for sports.